Good afternoon and welcome to our first DGSHAPE webinar. I'm Cristina Fumagalli from Chin System Marketing Team. Today I want to introduce you my colleagues Luigi Fanina and Gianmarco Caramelli.
Good afternoon, good morning, or good evening. I saw different people coming from different countries, so just to simplify, let's say ciao to everybody. Today we would like to show not the workflow, but several tips and tricks in order to manage better your Rolla machine. There are a couple of different versions of Mailbox, so during the webinar we will use the expert version. I left the presentation to my colleague Gianmarco. Thank you.
So, ciao a tutti, hello. Happy to having you here to this new Chin System webinar. Before starting showing you Mailbox, I'd like to spend some word about our application that it's already installed with Mailbox. It's the Lab2D Explorer. Okay, what is this? It's mainly STL viewer, but not only, because it contains at the same time some interesting feature that can help you before starting the job and sending the job in Mailbox. For instance, I told you it's of course it's a STL viewer, so you can quickly check and see even before opening the CAM software. Okay, so you can check, you can have a look, really have a quick look on your items. But also, for example, if I came back to this crown folder, for example, you can analyze in real time the characteristics of the STL files. What I mean, for example, okay, you can see, but here you have interesting values. It means information about, for example, the height. So it is crucial sometimes. What does it mean? For example, the object, you can sort all the files by, for example, the smaller one, the thinner one, to the wider one, for example. So in this way, what you can do, you can say, for example, okay, probably the first element can be executed in a particular disk, for example, 10 from here. Then the next one, the last one, maybe another higher disk, for example. This kind of analysis is pretty interesting before starting the job. Also, it's interesting why? Because here I can see the height. This is the absolute value of the height of the object. But if I scroll other columns, I can see, for example, height scaled. What does it mean? This feature consider, for example, a scale factor, for example, for zirconia. So if you see the height is higher than this value. So it means in case you want to mill in zirconia, you know that the disk will be higher than this one, for example. Okay. Normally, this scale factor is another value. It's 1.25. So it's just to give you an idea about what disk to use. About this viewer, about this Lab2D Explorer, not only it's just a viewer, not only can do that, also as other interesting feature. For example, you can say that in case there are some areas, for example, let me open another one, maybe this one, maybe this. Okay, it's okay, this one. Okay, this one. For example, you can say by using this icon that here, for example, and here, in these areas that normally has contact points, you don't want to place any connector following in the CAM software. Okay. Also, another interesting feature is this one, is a thickness analysis. What does it mean? It means that you can, in real time, thanks to this color, you can see where where we have maybe some critical point where the thickness is not so enough to guarantee a correct work. For example, in zirconia, this is very crucial. Having a so fine thickness is not so good. So that's why you can even check by your eyes in this way. Okay, so you can on real time analyze take a look. Okay, you can see here. So in case you receive from another customer, you can go back to him and say, attention, probably if you want to make in zirconia, probably I can guarantee the job. Maybe because here you can have some breakage because of that. So all these features are already inside this software. Okay, so it is very, very interesting to use it. Okay, of course, what happened? This information, for example, if I reopen again this STL, if I see this red point, of course, will be considered in during the mailbox import. Why? Because automatically, Library Explorer is going to automatically create an additional XML file having the same name. So automatically, if I load this from mailbox, of course, if I load this item from the same folder here, automatically mailbox will detect it. And what does it mean? It will consider these are emergency areas. Or other question is, for example, if I load, for example, if I see maybe even this one, okay, here there will be, we'll see another interesting thing. It's that here we can see that the orientation of the item, it's upside down. Normally, conventionally, as you already know, normally what happened? The occlusal part must be placed on the top side and the cavity side on the bottom part. Okay, but if you see this one, if you go back here, we see that the cavity stays on the top and the occlusal part stay in the bottom, so in a upside down way. And no problem in this case, because of course we can fix it here in this software, but we can even simply import it in Mailbox, and Mailbox will detect it automatically the wrong position and automatically will reverse it. Of course, this one can be, this kind of automatic fixing works only, I repeat, if in this folder there is no any additional meta file related to this object. I mean construction info, I mean PTS or XML file. Why? Because during the mailbox import, the construction info, the XML file, for example, will have the priority. So this automatic fixing can be applied. Also, another interesting thing is this. For example, let me open this one. Before I told you that it's possible to say where you don't want to place any pin, or reverse, you can say, for example, I want to place connectors here, for example, and here. Let's say in a sort of strategic positions. Okay, so now also there's another interesting thing that I didn't mention it. It's the Printable Check. It means that here you also have this command that in case you wanna print, and then in case you don't want to mail but print this object, first you can even analyze the object, and in case Library Explorer will notify some error, some holes, some bad triangle position, automatically it will going to fix it. It will going to repair, I would say, the mesh in order to well printed. Also about this one, I come back here. I can say that here we can rotate it. Okay. Also, in case I want to fix it right now, you can rotate, and in a few moments that the STL is modified by putting the object in a correct position. Okay. Now, let's open Mailbox. Go back finally to Mailbox. Here is, as we say, it is not an explanation about the workflow, but they're showing about some tips and tricks about how to well use it. For example, if I go here now, of course, just spend some words about not about the list of machine, but about here, about, for example, the tool manager, the toolkit management. It means that the machine, in case you have many kind of kits of tools, different families because of, for example, different tools producer. For example, here one machine you can easily manage and switch from this toolkit to another one, for example, and then of course you can confirm to select. Now this it means if I select this 52D machine, this tool set will be used even here, for example. Now let me select a project, create a file, okay, confirm. Important to say that even in case here I select or I forgot to change this tool set, I can, without remake a new project, I can modify, change it. I can switch it to another one. So if I go here, for example, I can say here, change machine tool set. What does it mean? I click here, and then automatically I can choose the one that I desired. So automatically here we are. Okay. So now what I like to say also, it's about the import, because now I'm curious to see what happens with the file that I previously modified. Remember, with Laptop Explorer. This is the folder already existing where I allocate all STL file. Consider it's here. And consider also this, you can save here on the left part of this import dialog box. You can save your favorite folder. Consider probably that you may have favorite folder, for example, on the network, where you used to collect, store your STL files before to send it to the machine or to your CAM. So it could be convenient sometimes collect all of them in case of needs in favorite folder. So consider that you can even save these links, this shortcut, in order to quickly open it. How to do that? Just go in your folder, any folder, of course, right mouse here, and then add to bookmark. You know, to have it here every time. Also, you can choose folder on the network. Consider if you have many computers, many license, CAM license, or different user, colleagues. For example, where you have the CAD computer or CAM computer, and we used to collect to share some folder in the network. This could be a good trick to save time in order to avoid browsing the network to looking for the folder. Of course, you can even remove in case you don't want it. Of course, also right mouse, just open with the Explorer to open the folder directly and see the complete all the type content by using the Windows Explorer. Okay, so you can check it. Okay, now let's see. Before I run this file, I modify this file. Consider in this moment you can even select more than one file on the same folder, and then say, okay, import. Of course, it's not enough, because it is true. You can, I can go here and then select, but I can even, for example, I can even say import. Then I can jump to another folder, maybe bridge, for example. Select a bridge, for example, and then say it's a bridge, import. Automatically here appears this progress bar, showing me the status of the import step. Of course, then I can choose another folder. For example, I can go back here, for example, here. Then it's a copy of the cavity, it's a full crown, it's up to you. And that's it. And then if I continue to click this plus button, always the system is waiting for other next import files. It's very comfortable in case, for example, if you are using Exocad, normally Exocad saves each project, indent a project in each different folder. So it can be helpful in this case, confirm, then browsing your dental CAD project folder, select the file you want, blah, blah, blah. So it's not a bad idea. Now we can close it. Let's wait for a while for the bridge element import. Okay, now we are here. Consider we are here automatically where mailbox is waiting for the blank selection. As you should know, now waiting for a user blank or a new blank. What are how to select new blanks? New blank, just select the desired thickness here from 10 to 25, for example, for this case. What are these numbers? These numbers are representative are the user blank for each different thickness. Okay, so it means here that I 2 discs of 10 millimeter, 5 or 12, and so on. In case you have more than 10, here the value, for example, will be displayed as 10 plus. It will mean that you have more than 10 user disks. The other interesting thing is here, for example, you can see another color. What does it mean? It means that for this material, I set, for example, another kind of blank, always hook disk, diameter 98, for example. But the characteristic, the difference, and this one is the color. It means this is a multi-layered, so you can see the different color. And so it gives me the easy info. It means that you can choose a multi-layer disk. Spending some work about the blanks, you can even say, you can even manage multi-layered like here, or even shaded blank. Shaded where you have just can set easily in the blanks archive to color, a higher color and a bottom color. Here, in this case, in multi-layered, you can choose, for example, different layer, each number of layers, thickness of the layer for each layer, and the colors, of course. Okay, now it's finished, and we are here. Okay, as we can see here in this crown, before in LabTV Explorer, what I set? I put 2 points, red point, to say here and here I don't want to place any pin. So let's choose now a blank, and use a blank. For example, let me choose 12 millimeter disc because I have 5. Consider, according to the higher item loaded, here automatically the system is giving me the minimum thickness required. What does it mean? This 90.77, it means that the higher element is having this thickness. So it means at least I have to use a disk having equal or bigger than this value. So that just 10 is enough. For example, let me select our user blank, and I don't want to select anything. Why? Because I have 5 user blanks, automatically the system loaded, automatically chooses the better one. Okay, let's see what it's doing. Let me refresh here. Okay, here, as you can see, automatically the system automatically selected let's say the optimized one. Of course, this is a test disk, but what is the interesting things? It's that Mailbox analyzes the percentage of the user space, and according the elements that want to mill, in this case the green part, 1, 2, 3, according to the space, automatically say, okay, for me this is the best one, the correct one. Automatically select it, and of course it is not automatically selected. It says, okay, this is the correct one, but of course manually I can select other kind of or user blank. Each time it's apply a virtual nesting, showing you which will be the position used. Okay, just select it, and here is. Interesting thing now is that if you see here these 2 connectors, because of the item, has been placed here in the middle of the area. So there's an alert because it's exactly in the area where the picket where I don't want to place any pin. So in this case, it would be easy to just move in a correct position. And if you take a look to this element, pins are exactly placed where I picked 3 green points in LabVIEW Explorer. If 1, 2, 3. So this is a way to combine LabVIEW Explorer and Mailbox. Okay, it's a way to use a good way to speed up your workflow. Let's say. What are these yellow line that I see here? It means that in this position was placed the pins in this previous job. It could help me sometimes in case I want to place, for example, here this pin, this object maybe here, and say, okay, let me put here. So because here probably there will be some little bit more material. So to give more stability, for example. Okay. So now what does it mean? What I can do? For example, the system automatically go to the next step in case I don't want to select any other blank, for example. I can say, okay, let's start to mill. But before I mentioned you other kind of blanks, multi-layered, for example. Let's say how it showed this multi-layer blank. Just select it, and automatically, without confirming it gives a preview of the user blank. There is, or the multi-layer blank. This is the color that automatically is assigned to all over the object. Okay. Okay, now, as I confirm it, okay, no, I don't want next again. Okay, here they are. Now, let's say, for example, I want to continue by importing other object, no problem. By the way, I can even select one job here. You give me the chance, select an object, yes. I select it, it has been highlighted. There's a blue line around, it means it has been selected. Okay, what happened now? Just save toolpath and run the computation. By the way, I can mention another thing that's using combined with Mailbox. If you see here, there's a Mailbox. It just arrived me a notification. It's saying the machine has been finished its job. What does it mean? It means that Mailbox can manage through Telegram app, can manage notification, automatic notification coming from the machine. What does it mean? It means that as the machine finishes its job, I will receive this kind of notification on my mobile. In this case, it is a web page of Telegram. I cannot show you my mobile. I show you the web page of Telegram. So it means the machine finished. Okay, I will receive a notification on my mobile, then on my app. Also, this kind of notification can be sent in case of error or unexpected stop of the machine. What does it mean? In case, for example, I forget to switch on the vacuum, maybe the machine can go on, so it can stop. Or maybe there's a problem on the machine, the power, or some two breakers, I don't know. Any kind of error on the machine coming from the machine will be notified to me by Telegram. Okay. Why I open it? Because as I receive it, this kind of alert, this kind of message from the machine, say, okay, the machine is empty, the machine is ready, so I can send. I can start the mailing by starting the computation. And I guess it is a good trick that can be used. Consider important, this kind of feature, Telegram, can now currently work only with 52 series machine. So the 52D, 52DC, and 52 DCI only. It doesn't work with the rest other roller machines. Only with the 52 series. Okay, continuing Continuing, I'd like to spend other words about the blanks. I'd like to show you that, of course, you can load from here use a blank, multi-layer blanks. But for example, it's interesting knowing that we have the chance to load the user blank, for example, coming from a picture. For example, a picture, I mean a photo, maybe a picture of a user blank, because, for example, someone, a colleague of you came to your lab because he had the machine broken. He can't, so he can use his machine. Please, can you please make some job for me with this? I give you the blank. It's a blank. This is the user one. So here we have a feature user blocks that let us to stock import. For example, take a look here. Here, BMP, bitmap, and JPEG. So, for example, if I open here my folder, for example, here I have a list of pictures. Picture making, for example, this one I made with my mobile. This picture I made it by myself on my mobile. Just make a picture on from the top, not from the ocular part, not from the bottom part. Or this, taking a picture with my mobile. Suggestion. To work well and fast, I suggest to use a picture having a high contrast, for example, black and white. This because this feature works is a conversion of pixel in geometrical entities. So don't use any light, any flash, blah, blah, blah. However, how does it work? Just select the picture, select. Of course, because it's a picture, so the system needs to know which is the diameter, 98, it is standard value, which is the thickness of the of this picture or the disk, maybe 15, 16, which is the shrinking factor, 3, 4, 5, whatever, 2, 3, 4, whatever. Consider, in case in this moment you don't know the real factor, this is not a problem, because later on you have the chance to modify on the way this value, and everything will be recited. However, just confirm, assign maybe a so-called picture, I don't know, picture in case a lot code. Okay, let's say pick, yeah, and that's it. Automatically, in a few moments, the system analyzes the picture and will convert it in a user blank. So here, we see in a few moments that it has been created. Never mind about these areas, because these are just area not usable, not millable. So what does it mean? It means that if I go here in this folder, compare the picture, we can see that exactly, don't care about the position, don't care, but I show you that it's possible to change the position as in the machine, in case you have some reference, that exactly this profile is exactly the same. What the mailbox makes here is simply unify, make a unique profile along all the used areas in order to have a unique island, let's say. Automatic apparent nesting, of course, you can change it. Okay, it could be very nice to use it in case of need. Of course, here, in case is not the real position on the machine, you can rotate the stock. For example, let's say with step of 5 degrees, for example, and step by step, you can change it. Okay, that's it. Then exit in case. Of course, I change it without modify, no problem, because here I have a nesting, automatic nesting, yes, and then automatically you can adjust the positions according to the new position on the blank. Okay, about it's a nice thing. Also, continue speaking about the blank. I want to open another sample where, for example, here I want to show you how we show it. For example, a shaded disk and not a multi-layer disk. In this case, as you can see, I choose a multi-layer disk. And here it's very comfortable because in this way, the system, by modifying the mesh of the color of the mesh, you can simply analyze and adjust, align the object according to the color of the disk in order to properly assign the color in each position, wherever you want. So in this case, you can see that by moving up and down the object, you can assign different color according to the disk properties. Okay, and okay, continuing also about describing some tricks about this kind of about mailbox. There's a good thing to know. Maybe you don't know, but is the possibility about speaking about the cavities. Is the possibility to adjust the fitting in the cavity. There's an interesting, very easy to use feature here that lets us to modify the fitting in case, for example, it's not so good. Why? Because, for example, let's say the property, the characteristic of the material, or this material, the disk, maybe the status of the usage of the tool, the burr probably maybe that's not so new. So the diameter of the finishing burr is no more 1 millimeter, but it's 0.90 something. So what does it mean? It means that if you mill, probably you have a little narrow area. So probably the fit is not so good. So what happens? If you click here, for example, here, you can easily modify, for example, assigning only this selected cavity a different accuracy, not accuracy, sorry, a different fitting. So you can decide to make it bigger or larger. Okay, take a look here. Okay, I color, show cavity fix color. Sorry, it was hidden the color. What does it mean, the alert color? It means that it just notify me, telling me graphically speaking, I say that this cavity during the milling will be make it bigger, a little bit bigger, according to the value I select, I choose before. For example, here. For example, it was this value. In case here, I can modify. I modify by assign another value, for example. Of course, it depends to the need. Okay, or you can assign different, all the same by, for example, simply say, no, I want this value for all cavities, or select in the object, and all the cavities will have the same fitting value. Why? Because why this one? Because it's a general problem, not general behavior. Because, for example, I repeat, the burrs are no more new, so the diameter of the finishing burr is no more as the original, no more 1 millimeter. It's smaller, or maybe the material. Maybe the material is much more harder than expected, so need to heat a little bit more going inside. Attention, here the CAM is not modifying the mesh because Mailbox is not a CAD software. It's simply giving to the machine, to the CAM, doing the milling, a different instruction, different information for the machine dedicated to this finishing of the cavity. As you can see, if you notice it before, sometimes I try, for example, another interesting thing that sometimes I used to hide the fixture by using some hotkeys. For example, sometimes if you see automatically, in case I have to investigate, I have to laterally checking this kind of this object. Okay, if you see here now, the color it's full, but as I put rotation automatically became transparent to the feature. But sometimes it's easy. It's not so easy to see through. So I can quickly switch off, turn off the visual display of the feature. Okay, quickly. How? Because here, of course, I have here, thanks to this lamp command, I have show picture, hide picture. But as Windows, because we are working in Windows, we have a lot of, or some hotkeys that we can use. For example, Control E, you can, like the equipment, you can switch, turn off, turn on the equipment. There are other functions, special functions, like for example, F5. F5 is top view is XY, or a lateral, or a frontal, or a perspective, or the command with F9 that can tilt the 4-axis, for example. No, even by using the keyboard. Of course, there are other tricks. For example, speaking about this kind of hotkeys, I can say Control G, for example, to hide and show the cap, automatically generated the import, the cap of the protection for the mailing, for example. Okay, so this kind of hotkeys are already included inside the usage of Mailbox. And just to give you an idea of that, here, where is here? There's some guide about this kind of hotkeys, about what they do, for example. Okay. Inside the Mailbox, there are many other tricks. For example, even speaking about the blank. Coming back again to the blank. In case I want to create a new one, here just confirm we have this kind of feature. This is a barcode icon. What is this barcode icon? It gives me the chance, for example, because it is a new blank, it gives me the chance to print a label. Okay. How? For what? What is this label? It's a barcode. The purpose is to print this barcode, attach it in this material. I mean, attach it on the label on the shoulder, lateral shoulder, for example, of the disk, and in order to be stored. Then the next time I will need of the disk, will be easier to detect it. How? Simply thanks to barcode reader or the webcam. I just put in front of the webcam my barcode, automatically it will be loaded. For example, interesting showing you this video. For example, support barcode printing. Hope you see it, because it's difficult to explain by word and difficult to explain without seeing how it works. This is a video. The color is not Roland version, but universal, because it works in any Mailbox version. So here I'm creating a new item, a new blank. Later on, I will print it. Okay, now I print it. Okay, thanks a printer. That's why when I printed the barcode, here I have barcode. This barcode will be attached on the shoulder, for example, of the disk. So then I go to mail, to apply the mailing. So automatically, this user blank is saved in the internal archive, blanks user blank archive. Okay, let's say now we import the user blank. Now what do you say? Now we import the blank and barcode reader web. Why? Because the next time, the second time I need this user blank, which is the new way, faster way to load it. For example, I can use a barcode reader or the webcam on my laptop, on my computer. So what does it mean? It means now, instead to go to blank without entering inside the blank management, I can simply, and here I can show you here that I reading, thanks to barcode reader, I reading here the barcode, and automatically in few seconds, in few moments, automatically the user blank it's read it, and then I can mail. Or the second chance, it's here we are loading this user blank by reading the barcode thanks to the webcam of the webcam of the computer. It could be the internal webcam or additional webcam, whatever, no problem. And in a few moments, automatically, as it detects the barcode, is loaded again, is loaded the user blank, and that's it. And then you can continue your job by continuing the job. Okay, let's close it. Also, another interesting thing, and of course you can mill. During the milling, consider that while the machine is milling, you can constantly monitor in the machine. You can have a look without. Maybe you are in another room, maybe you are in another place, and you want to see the status of the machine in the process. Then, what does it mean? It means that you can see inside the mailbox. You can have a preview or real time of then live of the mailing status. How do I do? I'm not connected. I am in a room, but I'm not connected. I don't have any direct connection now with any machine. But thanks to this video, I show you that. Sorry, here you can manage a camera. It means what? Let me go a little bit fast. Here. Sorry, go back. While the machine it's working, if in Mailbox you can select a camera or thanks an IP address, a webcam. Of course, the camera must be connected to the machine. You must have a camera on the machine. Then, as you can see here, you have directly inside Mailbox interface, working space, you have a little window letting us to see the machine working, in order to let us to continuously monitoring the machine status. So in order to avoid to going out, going from the machine, how it is, which is the status, blah blah blah. So I guess it's even this one. It's a very cool and nice feature. Of course, to work, you must connect a camera into on the machine. It could be you can put, if you have the computer side by side on the machine, you just connect the camera on your computer and select it. If you have another part, another room, if you have an IP camera, just connect thanks an IP address. I guess it's very, 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 very comfortable to use it. Okay, so consider the usage of Mailbox. Consider other interesting things, quite new in this case, that let us, for example, to manage other kind of customized operation. For example, if I open another file, another object here, for example, here, let me open this file. I already prepared because much more fast and quick to show you. But what is the purpose in this case? In this case, the purpose is manage customized operation. What are the kind of customized operation? Normally, we have Mailbox has a dedicated mailing strategy, universal strategy, to mail everything. Or let's say almost everything. But sometimes, because of the particularity of the model of the object you want to mail, sometimes this is quite difficult in a standard way, mailing all particular crucial part in a cohort optimized way. So that's why we added some particular function that let us to automatically add on the way, before mailing, of course, add a particular operation. For example, if you see here in this object, here not and here yes, I added different text. We can see by color this, because there's some arrow, particular additional operation on these selected areas. So that thanks a painting. Then there's a brush command that let me to point and by my eyes to decide the direction on the area and direction of the additional milling. For example, to apply an additional finishing or a rest material or machining undercut. For example, how to do that? Very easy. For example, take a look at this area. here in the brush command, just select this brush, the dedicated brush command, to load here paint. For example, what I can do here, custom operation. So here, for example, we set particular machine, extra additional machinism with rest material, additional finish, undercut, rest material with 0.6 burr, or milling the tires, blah, blah, blah. For example, here, now, thanks to this paint, I can select this area, for example, automatically will be selected. Here it is. And now, thanks to by clicking, continues to click here, by clicking, my point of view, this direction became my new machining direction. Okay, of course it's not so good. It's I wanted to do that because in order to show something. Because of that, automatically, if you see, the offset area has been enlarged, because to enter by using this direction, the previous wall wasn't too narrow, so it was a limit, but it was critical. So automatically identify the necessary inclination to get to ascend to the tool, and automatically enlarge the offset area in order to have enough space to enter with the tool for this operation. Otherwise, it could be a problem. You can make a collision between the cone, the extra part, the shank of the tool, and maybe in the corner, and the edge of this part of the disc. Okay, and it's very easy. I still inside, so it means in this time I can assign another angle, maybe better. Okay, maybe say no, it's too much. So let's try to change. Let's pick this. Click again on this area to choose another point of view. Then automatically, as you can see, it has been reviewed, adjusted again, optimized again, in order to apply this kind of, it's quite normal to this direction, in order to apply a customized, let's say, a customized operation. Okay, so, and then just mail. This is the very nice function. It can help us for spatial, let's say, difficult kind of object. Of course, now with this way, there's no more difficulties for that. And in this way, you can have a lot of you can save a lot of time. Why save? Because you don't have no more to spending time to remake it. Maybe coming back, call maybe the support. Oh, okay, how can I mail it? Blah blah blah. No, in this way, very easy to apply many desired extra operation for that. Okay, what we can say, for example, about this kind of extra operation, it's interesting to say, spending some other words about another kind of fixture. For example, now this kind of operation is applied on this closed disk. But if I consider, for example, another model of roller machine, that 51D, the particularity that 51 has open disk. So you can use the lateral, the open area of the disk. So what does it mean? It means that, for example, you can use other additional particular dedicated operation in order to use the open area of the machine that the machine lets us to use, for example. And normally it's automatic. Anytime I select the 51, automatically in the strategy offer me other kind of operation, spatial operation we call. For example, here, as you can see, we have the chance to put the item close to the area and then open it. How I made it? For example, let me create another object. Let me create, and this is also why we may have the need to open here, milling this area, by breaking, for example, this area. Why? Because, for example, I want to be more precise on this kind of object. So the only way is to laterally hit the object. Otherwise, because from this side, maybe from the other side, it could be not so easy. So by hitting the material, milling from this side vertically, you have much chance to be more precise, for example. It could be very comfortable to use it. Okay, for example, how to use it? It's very easy. Here, let me make a, for example, here, how to use it. Let's close it again. For example, I was here, I can put here, and then automatically, because it's still closed, I use a dedicated command to open it. Thanks to these two jogs, green balls, I can decide which is the area to keep it open or closed. Because, for example, I need only some area that I desire. Okay, so in this way, I can quickly modify the area that I want to adjust. Okay, and thanks to this extra cursor, I can say, okay, enlarge or not this area, this opened area. It's good. It's for sure a good trick. The time is going on, so I want to introduce other kind of special things. For example, the possibility to use a stabilizer. You know, maybe that in the CAM we use stabilizer bars. So I'm speaking now about zirconia or other material that must be scaled, must be treated after the milling with a thermal treatment. In this case, this sample is based on sintering metal. It's pretty similar. Let's say the management in the CAM is same to zirconia. Here, the particularity of this item is instead to load a classic bar, I used a external custom-made bar. How? Thanks to this kind of library, for example, a stabilizer. Here, what does it mean? It means that, for example, I can create by CAD, mechanical CAD software, any kind of geometry, any kind of geometry about dimension, about shape of this kind of custom-made stabilizer bars according to the shape. What does it mean? It means that you can quickly, for example, let me open another one. For example, stabilizer. Let me open it. For example, another kind of sample. Here they are. It's very easy to treat it. How to run it, how to load it. For example, here, just go in the dedicated stabilizer command. Here, of course, you can edit, just select. In a few seconds, automatically the bar is applied. Okay. You also have the chance to put in the middle, thanks to this opened area. I remind you that you have the chance also to put in the middle after the confirmation, put in the middle any kind of other object in the middle in order to be used to use even the internal area. But let's go back. But now you have the chance also to import, if selected, if defined in your library, select other kind of custom-made bars. For example, depending, here we made some sample, depending the dimension, depending how many units, for example, from 10 to 12, for 3 to 4, for small bridges, for example. So it depends. So the kind of different shapes and dimension, of course, very easy, just select it and load. Automatically the system import it. Now, simply adjust because it's an external STL file. So the system gives me the chance to adjust it according to my desired position. For example, here, of course, now choose a one. It maybe smaller. However, here you can adjust it and then confirm. Maybe put here close to this area. Of course, it's red because I overlapped the offset areas, for example. Then going back, and that's it, and confirm. And this is the way to use it, this kind of extra custom-made bars. Okay, of course, this is maybe too small for this, so but in this case, having a big library of this kind of shapes, I can choose the one that I need, the one that's much more comfortable for this case. This one is too small, of course, for example. And here I can manage, for example, a different kind of offset to enlarge the area, for example. in order to remove this external material. Okay, so this one is not so good, but however, this is the way how to use it. Automatically, of course, all the connector are placed, or in case you don't like it, of course, just click again and coming back to other different bars, the one that you wanted, for example. Of course, we added many other features right now. We add different kind of object to mail. For example, here let me the first object that wasn't being seen in the list of objects to mail. For example, now this kind of post and core. So we optimize mailing on the overstructure, overpress item. Post and core, this kind of object. We added, of course, it was already possible to make thanks to our strategies, standard strategy, but now we improved this kind of item management thanks adding a specific object to be mailed. Okay, thanks. So the strategy we mail by using particular machine for that. Or, for example, we added other kind of, but it's very easy because it's already inside. No need any particular thing. Just load the item, just select it, load it, and mail. That's it. Also, we optimized the operation of a structure. For example, quickly, during the imp, we're going to recognize the margin line. Like this kind of, we try to treat, we use it, we treat it as for a common margin line for a cavity. And then it would be very much more convenient and easy to use it. Here, automatically, graphically, we can see something. For example, the green lines here in this case are representing what the axis, the insertion axis for the holes. Okay, so here would be easy to, even by the first look, easy to detect the crucial part of this element. Here, Control G. By using the hotkeys, I remind you that we can even see all the caps automatically created during the import. Even if I click on Control R, like red, I can see what the red caps, they're going to close the holes, automatically managed to prevent any entry inside here for non-necessary operation, and that's it. Also, we added many other kind of features. For example, by using quickly, there's a new report management. Report, what is? Report is the data sheet that it's created automatically, collecting some data. For example, what is data sheet? If I click it, automatically, what is this report? It's automatic report that can be edited, can be created in a PDF file or HTML or doc file. It contains a report. It's a sort of documentation that you can send. And also the particularity in this PDF management, only PDF it works, is the possibility to see 3D, in two-dimensional real-time 3D PDF. So you can see on real-time the object, okay? So you can analyze it. And also this kind of document, sorry, can be sent to your customer, to anyone who needs to check this kind of document without showing him the machine. So it could be very easy, useful in order to share some information about the future milling. Also here, you have info about in the document about the list of objects that you may have here inside. There are some documentation, some information about inside, about the printing time, the user machine, in case the material, in case it's zirconia, the scale factor, the stock name, the thickness, the lot code, the strategy used, and blah blah blah. So there are many tricks inside the software. Now it's hard to explain 100% all the features that we have inside. However, it contains very a lot of features that not easy to explain perfectly in few time. However, we added many times, and about the time now, I think we are almost finished. So I don't know if Luigi or if you have some question. By the way, if you have time to that.
We already answered to a couple of questions that was done during the meeting. Of course, we're still available to answer to everybody. Just send an email to me, Gianmarco, or to our support team. I think that the time for today is already closed. So let's plan maybe another. How many arguments you haven't done, Gianmarco?
About 20, almost 20, less than 20, but 20.
How many are missing?
How many
are missing?
One, just one.
Okay, you was on time. You can also show only, just click on the one hole and change the size of the hole, just to show the new interface. You will still have 1 minute to show.
Yeah, okay. Here we have this special feature, change cylinder size. For example, just select the axis, and then you can see here in real time that here you can manage a different diameter and different height, for example. Here, let's say 12. You know, to have a much more longer. Of course, in this case, there's no sense, more sense for implants, of course. But here you can see, you can manage a different value and then restore the previous one. However, this is a way you can quickly change. It's very comfortable because, for example, sometimes you may have the problem that the designed holes is too small because of bad design or whatever. So here you can, or maybe the tool is too big for this hole, so it can enter inside. So you can fix it on the way by simply enlarging it. It's very easy.
Marco, it's not a training because we don't have enough time. There is only one question. This is the latest version of the Mailbox Round Edition, is the 2020 in the expert. Is the expert version. We still is the let's say you can do everything with the expert version. Then of course there are other reviews on the market, but you can contact your dealer and ask more information about all of the new. Or we can finish. Okay, thank you everybody. Christina, you can close the meeting. Thank you. Bye. Ciao, ciao.
Ciao a tutti.
Okay,
Ciao.
just a second. Just two information. This webinar will be available on our YouTube channel in a very few days. Our YouTube channel is Chim System Dental. So for this webinar, other webinar, you can find everything in this channel. If you have more questions, you can send an email to our support, or Gianmarco and Luigi, or to our email training@chinsystem.com. So I finish. Luigi, Gianmarco, you want to say something, or is
Ciao to everybody.
Okay.
Thanks.
Goodbye. Thank you.
Ciao.